everyone. My name is Ruth Paul, and I understand that on the other side of the screen out there, you are here to do a workshop with me to learn how to draw some animals. I thought I might get you to help me draw a horse, a dolphin, and maybe a chicken today. We'll see how we go. But I have a helper here with me in my studio. Might not be able to see him. He's down there. He's having a bit of a snooze. This is Teddy, and Teddy will probably try and make himself useful at some point. We'll see. And just to let you know how I'm doing this, I've got a really hokey old setup here. So there's the camera on my computer, and then there's this magnificent technical setup called my really old iPhone stuck to my light, which I can't move because theoretically that's going to help you see me drawing. Okay, so hello everyone. It's weird talking into a screen and doing it this way and not being able to see you, but I know you're out there, and welcome along, and I hope you've got some pencils with you. First of all, I should probably just tell you a little bit about me. So I write and illustrate children's picture books, and at the moment it's coming up time for the New Zealand Children's Book Awards, and I'm really fortunate to have this book, Mini Whinny, in the Book Awards. Now, I didn't write this book. This is written by the amazing, extraordinary Stacy Gregg, and she is just a very famous writer in New Zealand. She writes a lot of stories about horses, and one of her series called Pony Club Secrets is about to be out on TV. It's called Mystic, and it looks like the most beautiful TV series. So maybe if you get a chance, you could catch that as well. But she wrote this story about Mini Whinny. There's a few of them. There's Mini Whinny, Happy Birthday to Me, Mini Whinny, Goody Four Shoes, and we've just finished one called Mini Whinny, Bad Day at the OK Corral. But this one here, Mini Whinny, Goody Four Shoes, is shortlisted for the awards, and I'm the illustrator of this book. So I thought we could start by drawing Mini Whinny. Now, she's a really messy little horse, as you can see here. She's not particularly tidy. She has a really good friend called Goody Four Shoes, who is a little bit more, I don't know, groomed than Mini Whinny. And when it came to first working out how to draw Mini Whinny, I discovered, I think I've always known this, that horses are really hard to draw. And some of you will tell me, no, horses are really easy to draw, but no, not for me. Rocks are easy to draw, horses are really hard to draw. So anyway, this is Mini Whinny jumping off something, and Mini Whinny, what else is she doing? She's just, climbing the hay bales with her friend Goody Four Shoes, and she's leaping through the air. And the minute you try and get horses to do things that aren't particularly horsey, like jumping off the top of a pile of hay bales, they become harder to draw. See, Teddy is now making himself a nest. I tried to draw Teddy once. I drew Teddy as a puppy, and he's in a book called Bad Dog Flash. But now he's a really big, hairy old dog. And this is him making a bed. It's quite funny. It takes ages making his bed. There we go. It's gone to sleep. So let's crack into drawing Mini Whinny. First things first, here is my character, Mini Whinny. Can you see her? A little bit messy, a little bit tousled, and a very, very small, short miniature pony. The first thing I always do when I'm trying to draw a new animal is I look up pictures of the real animal. So often I will go to Google Images and I'll type in the kind of creature I'm looking for. In this case, I was looking at miniature pony, miniature horse, and you come up with all these pictures that give me an idea of what colours and shapes and sizes these animals are all around the world. Now, the other thing I often do is try and get a basic understanding of what shapes are underneath the animal's skin. I know that sounds weird, but if you get an idea of where their head hooks onto their body and how their legs hook onto their middles. You know, you can kind of put the shapes together and then draw the shape of the horse around it. It really helps with movement if you understand a little bit about what's going on underneath. So I've got lots of anatomy books or things like that. They look very good on my bookshelves, but in truth, I don't use them a lot when I'm doing kind of quite characterful drawings, but good to have. The other thing to do, of course, which is probably the best, is go and find that animal in real life. Now, it's not going to work if you're looking for a lion, because there's not one of them in your backyards, I hope. But it's quite good if you're looking for a, dog or a sheep or a horse. So I can go outside, and my mate down the road's got a miniature pony, and just looking at how this little horse runs around and stuff is sometimes quite handy, and you can do sketches if you want. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a crack at drawing Mini Whinny on a piece of paper here. Now, something I always start with is just really simple shapes. So often you can just use ovals and triangles to create the underlying shape. So say Mini Whinny, I know, has got quite a round body and quite a big head on that body. She's not got a little head, see? And then, basically this is how basically I draw a horse. Okay, go like that. Here's the ground. Mini Whinny's got quite short legs, so she's quite close to the ground. Now, I know that Mini Whinny has a round belly, so I'm going to give her a nice round belly. And her back legs kind of sit off that belly in a bunch of little curves. Now, when I first start drawing, I draw really badly. I don't try and draw fancy. I just try and map it all out. And I'm going to give another circle here, see, because this is like Mini Whinny's nose, head. It connects to her body like this. Got a bit of a slumpy back, old Mini Whinny. And so it starts with these kind of circles and ovals. And what I'm going to do here is a little tail for Mini Whinny. There's always a messy tail, and the mane will come at the end. The mane sort of sits around here, which is a big part of Mini Whinny's character. Rightio. Often I'll get halfway through a drawing and go, this doesn't look like a horse, it looks like a pig. But I never rub out. You should never rub out. You should just keep drawing and see what happens, because it's always really good to just keep on going. Here's Mini Whinny's other leg over here. Now, I know Mini Whinny has a big patch around her left eye, but I'll put that in later. At the moment, I'm just trying to get an idea of what she's doing. Her ear sits quite close to her eye up here. At this point in time, I should have looked up. I still really don't know where horses' ears go, where their noses, how they sit on them. I'm terrible at actually knowing the anatomy for everything I just said. But I try and draw it out to see if I can get a feel for what this creature will look like. And keeping going is a big part of the drawing, because every time I draw over it, I refine those lines and I kind of make them start to look a bit better. Yes, she's very much looking like a small pig at this point in time, but we'll fix that. So Mini Whinny has a lot of hair, and it does cover up quite a few faults. Now, I've put her back leg way too far back there, actually. She's a shorter shape than that, so I'm going to move it forward and put it like this. Now, horses' legs, always look at horses and dogs and everything at their back legs, because they have funny joints in places you'd never expect. Like, there's always this curve here. And if you're a horsey kid, you can probably tell me what's a fetlock and what's a hoof and all that. And I'm a terrible not horsey person, so I don't know all the right names for things. But there's that little kink in there is always something that creatures have in their back legs. So I can put that tail here. And this is where it starts to get fun, where I've drawn a kind of a little shape. And then I try and put on all the bits that make it really fun, like give it a little bit of character. So Mini Whinny is, like I said, very hairy. So she has lots of spiky hair. And I do love her mane. Her mane is quite crazy. And a big part of this mane is that you just go mad with Mini Whinny's hair. There we go. She literally doesn't brush her hair. I don't think she's been groomed in her entire life. I think people have probably tried to, but she's not that prissy a pony. Here we go. Throw some little bits of dirt in there. Now she does have this big patch around her eye. Let's give her a little bit of messy fur in here. And see, I've got different pencils. I use a really soft pencil called a 4B. And sometimes I use this, which is a graphite pencil. And they're quite neat for just putting in big chunks of shading. It's kind of like a charcoal pencil. So I can shade around here. Minnie Winnie's always a little bit dirty. I don't think she's washed her hair for a while. She's got a few patches. That always helps. I know where Minnie Winnie's patches are, so they help identify her when she's in a paddock with a lot of other little horses. Oh, there we go. I'm very rough on my pencils. Like I said, never rub out. Rubbing out's terrible. Only rub out when you're doing a very proper finished drawing and you don't want any extra mess in there. Shading is really handy, just to give a little bit of idea of, say my sun is shining from up here. I'm giving Minnie Winnie a little bit of shade underneath and in those places that are hidden from the sun. So there she goes. We'll give her a little bit more mess. That's her other leg, bit of sticky out here. There, she's got a few bits of bad hair. Somebody really needs to get to this little pony with a good bit of grooming going on. Don't think she'd take kindly to it though. Okay, what else can we do to show you about Minnie Winnie? She's quite cheeky. Let's give her a naughty eyebrow. Here we go, naughty eyebrow. Have I given her enough hair? I think she needs a bit more hair. Oh, she really looks like a pig. So having said I wasn't going to use a rubber, I did just get into Minnie Winnie's mane and get rid of some of that extra fluff there. And what I'm going to do is, Minnie Winnie always has this little sidekick called Berenice. So I'm just going to draw a quick picture of Berenice here. Again, it's circles and ovals. Berenice is a little cat who is Minnie Winnie's best buddy, one of those sensible stables cats that seems to keep all the horses in check. And cats are easy, little triangle noses, little half circle smiles. Again, circles for eyes that we just got in a few little eyeballs there. So we're going to go, here we go, nose, smile, little ears up here, whiskers, tabby cat, there were just a few little stripes, bit of fluff around the face. Here we go. Now Berenice is about to lick her paw, I think. And here she is. She's taking a little ride on the back of her buddy Minnie Winnie. And give her some cat stripes. A little bit of foot. There we go. And now, once again, just at the last minute, I'll do a little bit of shading and fur and tweaking. That is a really badly drawn Berenice, but she will do. One more thing I should say is it never hurts to put in a little bit of ground underneath. So your background always gives a hint of what kind of environment your little creatures or animals are in. And here is my finished picture of Minnie Winnie and Berenice. It is not exactly a great work of art, but I think it'll do. Now, I thought the next thing we might draw would be a dolphin. So this is my little Hector's dolphin. And they're one of the smallest dolphins in the world, and they have very particular markings, a Hector's dolphin. They're black and white and grey, and have these strange little curves on the side of their bodies. So these are a series of books I've done about the New Zealand Hector's dolphin, and each story tells a different kind of environmental tale. And just as to raise awareness that we have these really special dolphins and there's not many of them left. So there's little Hector and the big blue whale, little Hector and the big idea, and little Hector meets Mini Maui. Which is the book that comes out in October. And the Maui's dolphin is a sort of subspecies of the Hector's dolphin, and they are even rarer. So what I thought we'd do is just, again, using that idea of ovals, we'd form a Hector's dolphin and put the patterning on top of it and see if we can end up with a proper drawing. So to start off with, we draw a large oval for the body, and we put a smaller oval half inside the large one, like this, see? Then we're going to draw a little squashed oval. This will be his nose. We'll stick it out this other side here. Hector's dolphins don't actually have beaks or noses. They have really blunt foreheads in a way. But when I'm trying to make a character, I have to put in a little bit of stuff that gives them personality, and this wee peaked beak really helps with his character. So again, we just stick a triangle on the end there, so it's ovals and triangles. Triangles obviously going to be a tail. Now we draw in some little rounded fins. Really special thing about the Hector's dolphin, which is unusual compared to any other dolphin in the world, is they have a rounded fin on the top. Lots of other dolphins, you'll notice, have a sort of a pointy fin, almost like a shark fin. So we give them a little round fin, then we can do circles and dots, eyes and eyebrows. Again, you can do any kind of eyes. You can do little dots without the circles around them. You can do some, just all sorts of different character eyes, and where you place them on the body makes a big difference to character and personality as well. So if you are working with an eraser at this stage, or if you're going to trace over this to do your final drawing, you can drop out the lines that you don't need. So we're going to draw some lines to show his unique markings, which is where he has this special black and white shape. And also he has a shape in the triangle of his tail. He's got quite a curved shape on the end of his tail. So as I'm doing this, I'll bring up some reference so you can see what a real Hector's dolphin looks like. Yes, and at the same time how far away I move from that when I'm creating my little storybook character. So it's got all the main characteristics of a Hector's dolphin, but that little nose is definitely my addition there. So once we've got his unique markings on, see, we'll draw them in. Probably need to give him an ocean to swim in. One without any rubbish or plastic in it, that would be extra nice. So here's our little line drawing, here's our coloured drawing, and here's little Hector in the story. Rightio. Let's now have a crack at a chicken. I can't promise you that I can draw a chicken, but I'll have a go. Firstly, let's look at some chickens. They've got so many feathers, and there's so many different varieties of chickens that it's a bit hard to know what structure is under there. So here we go, drawing a chicken, probably quite badly. They have a round body. They have very little head, really, compared to their big round body. They always have a tail, so I'm going to do another kind of circle up here. They have wings, so I'm going to draw a wing oval down here. They have legs, so I'm going to kind of put in the area where they would go. Now I'm going to cut the top off my circle here. I think chickens often have that have a body shape a bit like that. Their wing, I think it points down when it's not flapping about a bit. So there's the wing. Head, like I said, often quite small, and definitely big, interesting eyes. Beak, wattle. They have a wattle, don't they? So that often goes up around the beak. And let's give this dude an interesting wattle. There we go. And the one on top. Yep, there we go. One on top as well. Feathers. Often they're feathers. When I look at my chickens, I realise they're kind of in beautifully formed layers. I know they often have that one around the neck. And see that wing sits there. And the tail, sometimes they're quite fabulous tails. But let's just give this chookie a nice shaped tail. So again, I've used my circles, my half circles. Lordy knows where the legs go, but it's something like this. They have a little claw off the back of their leg, from what I remember, and I believe three claws, I think, in that little hooky thing they have off the back. I've probably got that wrong. So as you can see, when I'm drawing, I do tend to talk really badly to myself. Let's grab that Conte pencil, that shading, just bung in above. Oh, I feel like the Jamie Oliver of drawing. Let's just bung a bit in. Let's just bung a bit of shade in. If only I could toss coriander in it, but no. So let's finish with that shading. And like I said, never rub out unless you absolutely have to or you're at the end. And if I were colouring this up, sometimes I would use like a light box or a light bit of tracing paper to sketch out my lines over top. Or the other thing you can do is you can scribble chalk onto the back of your drawing, onto the back of the sheet of paper, and then attach that paper with sellotape to the board or the piece of paper you want to paint on, and then you press down over the lines with a really sharp technical pencil or pencil to press that colour into the board that you're drawing on, and then you have transferred your drawing through, and you can just paint with that underlying drawing on the board already. They have little nostrils in their beaks. So where is our chicken? Our chicken is in a pile of straw and probably has a beautiful nest of eggs that she's looking at. So here is the nest of eggs in the long grass with some flowers, and the chooky chook is thinking about sitting on those eggs and turning them into babies. So that's it from me with trying to help you draw some animals. I'd really love to see the stuff you come up with so that you could send me your animal drawings, or perhaps the librarians who have set up this workshop will help me to see some of the stuff you've done. There we are, Teddy, saying goodbye. Saying goodbye. He's going, what do you want? Does it involve food? No, Teddy, no food. Does it involve a walk? No, Teddy, no walk. Hey, it's been great enjoying your company this morning. Happy drawing.